Hey, I want to talk to you about the 5 things that you need to make local business marketing work for you. Think of it like a vehicle. A vehicle has these 5 parts. A vehicle has a driver, it has a destination, it has a GPS, it has cargo, and of course, it has an engine. Let's talk about these one by one. The driver, that's your business. That's your brand. That's everything that you put out online that says the same thing, says it in enough detail that when people read it, they can identify you. The destination is your customer. And just like whenever you get in your car, you're not driving some random place. You are going to a very specific place. So your customer needs to also be very specific. One specific customer that you know that you can help very well. The cargo, that could be the stuff that you put in your trunk. That is your offer. It is one thing that you do very well with one price and one major problem that is solved that you know your customer has. It's not 27 different things that you can do or want to be known by, because whenever people search for you online, the more things that they see, the more confused that they get. They need to see that you have one very specific thing that can solve the most common problem that your customers have, and then they'll be happy to look into what else you can do. The car also needs a GPS, and we're going to call that GPS your customer's buyer's journey. So just like a GPS is going to take you turn by turn to get to your destination where your customer is, your customer is on a journey. They're on a particular type of pathway and decision-making process in order to get your product or service. So you need to show up everywhere at every single one of those turns, every place that they're looking, the decision that they're making, and you need to be present and saying exactly what it is that they need to hear at every single decision and every single point of those turns. And the last one is the engine, and this engine has 3 parts to it. That is your Google Business Profile, your website, and your content, namely your social media content, although there can be some more. So number one, your Google Business Profile, like I said, has to have full and complete information. I can't stress this enough. If you offer services, you need all of your services filled out. You need to use almost every single character in your description. You need to have your phone number, your website, your socials connected, your business hours that are current, because Google does inspect this from time to time. Your address, it needs to be verified. All these things are very important. And then you need to have content on there every single week. You need to have a review every single week. You need to have photos or videos and a post. And you can alternate those. You can do a media dump and a post every other week, and it'll work out just fine. But you have to have content on that profile, that full and complete profile, every single week. So then your website has to now work with your Google Business Profile. There's a certain way that Google wants that to happen. And basically it's matching and mirroring the information that's on your Google Business Profile back over to your website. That's why your services on your Google Business Profile can link to pages on your website. That's why you can even have a website. That's why your posts can have links to other places on your website. You seeing the pattern? Your website has to match and mirror the information on the Google Business Profile and go farther. It has to continue to define everything that you do in inner pages. So once you get your top pages done that are matching and mirroring there, you start working on your inner pages, and you're going to release about 2 pages per month, like a blog post and maybe an inner page or maybe 2 blog posts, so that Google knows that there is somebody there behind the scenes wanting to communicate with your customers. Because Google is in the business of delivering the right information or the right business to the right person. So you got to do everything that they want you to do. Third, your social media content. And I know I said there's other content, but let's really focus on this one. Your social media content needs to show real photos, real videos of you, your team, and the work you're doing. I can't stress that enough. The easy, cheap thing to do is to get something AI or Canva. People see right through that. They don't want that. That's noise. But if you can show what's really going on in the day-to-day life of your work, really what's going on through the transformations that you bring other customers, and it doesn't have to be insanely polished, it just has to be consistent, you're going to build a lot of trust. So consistent means at least 3 posts per week. Now, can you get by with less? Yeah, probably 2. Should you do more? Definitely. But if you're not doing anything on social media, 3 posts a week is exactly the target that you want to hit. And then again, you have to look the same every single place. Now, here's what I want you to do this week. I want you to go check out your whole buyer's journey for your Google business profile, your website, your social media, and I want you to answer certain questions. And then I'm going to want you to pull up 2 or 3 businesses in your area and do the exact same thing. So I want you to look at these things. If you search for your business, first of all, do you come up on Google, especially in that little maps area? If you're not, that's your first red flag. So you're going to ask yourself, do I have full and complete information? Do I have weekly content? Then next, you're going to go over to your website. When you go to your website, is it answering one specific problem right there in the top that your customer has? Because I'm going to tell you, nobody cares, honestly, when they need a problem solved. Hate to break it to you. Nobody cares how long you've been in business as much as you think. While it does help and it is a differentiator when people are making decisions, people who go to Google for help go with the intention to get their problem solved within the next day or two. So they have about 4 minutes to decide if you're going to do that. So is your website doing that? Yes or no? And then does it have an easy way for them to get in contact with you? That can be a phone number right at the top. That can be a form button right at the top. However it is that's best, little chat widget, doesn't matter what it is. What's the next step? And is it obvious that they're going to get help right away? So if they have you and a competitor up side by side in Windows, the tiebreaker is always going to be this. It's always going to be your social media every single time, because that's like them being able to meet you before they've ever met you. I can't stress how important that is. In a local service business or a local professional services business, whatever one that you're in, the social media is not the first place people are going to look, but it is going to pull a lot of weight whenever you pass the Google business profile test and the website test. So here's how it works out. If you're pulling up yourself and 2 competitors, if all of you look dead, good news. You just have to look more alive than they do. If you have a competitor that does millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars and you don't, the reality is you can look just as legit as they do in a few months. Could be 3 months, could be 6 months, but you can look just as legit as they do and start pulling as much trust. To wrap this up, if you have ever said something like, hey, people in my area just don't want to hire me because of my price, or everybody else goes to a competitor, or there's just not the right type of customers, whatever it is, that's usually not the problem. The problem is usually, are you speaking the right language that the right customers that you want to do business with are hearing? Are you saying what they need to hear? Are you fixing their problems? Are you transparent and showing up? Are they able to find you when they're looking for you? Because a lot of things that we do in owning our business is we want to put everything out online the way that we understand it. But if you put it out in a way that your customer understands it, and you remember that marketing is a vehicle with these 5 areas, you're going to win in a very short period of time. Because marketing is not a guessing game for a local business. Marketing has a very specific framework that works every single time. And no matter what business, in what industry, as long as it's local, meaning in a geographical area, they're doing business with people, the formula works to bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars. It works every single time. And if you just work that formula, you're going to win that 4-minute decision. So marketing is a vehicle. It has those 5 steps. And now that you know the plan, you can get out and get it done and put yourself on top in just 3 to 6 months.